This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Time to catch up with an absolute superstar. That is Michelle Payne. Of course, she took out the 2015 Melbourne Cup, the only female jockey to ever do so. She has had movies written about her. She's that good, and she joins us this morning. Hi, Michelle.
Good morning.
Hey, Michelle.
It must feel, is this like Christmas Eve for you, Michelle?
Yeah, I've been all about the Happy Cup Eve to everybody, and it's, oh God, it's so exciting.
Have you got a wetsuit to wear on
Yes.
Melbourne Cup Day?
Not great weather.
No, it doesn't look like it's going to be good, but banking on the fact that they get the weather so wrong a lot of the time that hopefully they have this time and it's not going to be as bad as they say.
Oh, you're an optimist.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. Yeah.
Hey, Michelle, one thing sometimes people get probably sick of getting asked the same questions over and over, but when you've won the Melbourne Cup, I would think you probably don't feel that. Oh, here we go again. Take us through the race, all those questions. It must be such a moment of pride still after all these years.
Oh, it is. And, you know, every time we get closer to the race like today and you're going through the field and you're trying to find the winner, you just think how lucky to win a great race. You know how hard it is. You know every horse is there thinking and hoping and dreaming to win the race. So, yeah, it still makes me shake my head in disbelief that we were the lucky ones that year in 2015, but yeah, luck fell our way, and you know, it felt like it was just a bit meant to be.
How many people hit you up for tips, Michelle, around this time?
Oh, look, it's. I say to them, look, you're probably better off just picking a number. it can throw up anyone. I've changed my mind about 15 times going through the field and trying to pick the winner because everybody's in the race thinking they can win it. They're not there for fun. And there's so many different scenarios and things that can change as the day goes on with the weather and the wind and where, you know, horses' position in the run. One could just miss the start like we did on Prince of Penzance, but he was lucky enough to hold his spot. So it just, you know, so many factors come into play, and that's why it makes it so hard to find the winner, but I think that's why it also makes it so good at the same time.
But when you say that to people, Michelle, people don't believe it.
No.
People go, no, come on. She's a Melbourne Cup champion. She knows something, and they just wouldn't let that go.
No.
It's like people think Shaun's tips hold weight, and they don't.
Oh no, he's got no idea.
I do a lot of homework, and I find a lot of losers. Michelle, one thing we're getting to, you're obviously coming up to the big day tomorrow and all that kind of stuff. Can you talk us through the last 300 or 400 metres when you were riding in the Melbourne Cup and you were able to feel like, oh my God, I am all over this race. I've got every chance under the sun when you're on Prince of Penzance?
It gives me just goosebumps even thinking about it and taking me back to that moment. But I think I just was floating on air. I don't even think he had to carry me the last 200 metres or 300 metres. I was so excited. I was thinking, you know, is this actually happening? I'm about to win the Melbourne Cup, and I swear to you, I was floating on him the last furlong. It was just an incredible feeling of all of those years of dreaming of being good enough to ride in the Melbourne Cup and getting the opportunity, and then here we were about to win it. It was just the most surreal moment, and it's literally the hairs are standing up on my arms and legs because it's so, you know, it's so hard to believe that we were able to win it. And, when I crossed that finishing line, I just, you know, shook my head and was so grateful and relieved because, you know, a lot of pressure is on you. So much money goes into these horses. And, you know, to just get into the race is hard, let alone to win it. So, that feeling of relief of getting the job done for the owners and the trainer, Darren Weir, and all the staff behind the scenes, everybody worked so hard. It was so good. Such a great feeling.
Now, Michelle, the obvious next question is the whole country wants to know, how's Steve, your brother? Stevie, how's he going?
Yeah, he's good. I'm actually watching him right now. He's at the stables. He's the most integral part of my team trading.
Yeah.
He's there every day. He's, you know, the ultimate professional, but he just loves the limelight. He playing himself in the movie was probably, you know, just one of the best things for us to see, but he just absolutely lapped it up as he did on Melbourne Cup Day when we walked back in up that famous race after winning. I had to actually lean down and grab him say well done. And, we'd just won the Melbourne Cup because he was so excited he forgot about me. But it was,
it was an enduring
amazing
image.
to share that day
it's beautiful.
with him.
But
So
think
good.
about it though. I don't think there's been many scenarios where someone has played themselves in a movie,
Yes, that's
except
right.
for like a cameo appearance.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Like, that's actually mind blowing in itself.
And he did a good job.
He did a
was
great
brilliant.
job.
So good.
Hey, Michelle, I know that you've been to so many race meets. A question I need to know is how many little fascinators and hats do you have in the cupboard, or do you chuck them out straight away?
I don't chuck them out. No, look, a lot of them I'm gifted to these days, but I certainly have my nice little selection at home, which I treasure because it's so fun to be able to get dressed up. So many years I spent just slaving away trying
Yes.
to be the best jockey I could be and get the opportunities and to be able to enjoy the other side now, which is the fashions and getting all dolled up, which as a jockey it's pretty it's pretty rough out there. You're in the mud and the rain and you're working with animals, so to see that other side of it and to get all glammed up is so much fun and I love that.
What is the rule of a fascinator? How many times can you wear one before you have to retire it, especially being a public figure? I'm interested.
Yeah, the thing is you just don't put too many photos up and then you can get away with it.
Smart move. And I guess if you wear it to Flemington, you could sneak it to Randwick the next year, right?
I would think so.
Well, I was just thinking back because I wore one of mine to the Doncaster a few years ago. Then I wore it just the other day at the Cox Plate, and it looked like a fresh, brand new one, but nobody picked up that it's the same one. So
there you go.
as long as they're spread apart a bit and different
Yes.
can make it look a bit different.
Okay.
So
Good to know.
There you go, girls.
It is good. Well, Michelle, obviously we can see all the action on Channel 10 and there's a great team assembled to be able to call and give us
Massive team.
insights of what's going on, which is awesome too.
Oh, yeah, it's such a great team. I'm loving working with the Channel 10 team. And Eddie Maguire, he's just hilarious. He's so fun, but he's positive and he really helps you get, confident to go out there and to just, do what you do. I love working with Eddie, and Francesca's over. She's obviously amazing at what she does. She definitely brings the glamour and so much insight with the Europeans as well. And Michael Falgate, I worked with him last year. He's so good.
Yep.
He's just always on the ball, never makes a mistake. And David Gately, who does all the form. It's a really good team, and I'm loving doing the bouncing yard, which is, my area of expertise, being able to see them in the final stages before they go out onto the track. It's such a good way to know if they're ready or, there's some things that can really put you off, and to bring that information to the people at home, I think it's really priceless. So I'm loving that side of things, and also have a ride tomorrow on one of my own horses if he ends up running, depending on the weather. He doesn't like it too wet, but he's in the race before the Melbourne Cup, a horse called Pondus, and going really well. So definitely a horse to keep an eye out, because if he does run, I think he'll run a cheeky race at a bit of odds.
Okay, fantastic too. And if you get it wrong, do you give yourself a good talking to about what happened to afterwards?
Oh, yeah, don't worry. You get a big talking to after that.
Good on you, Michelle.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Oh, it's great to have Ryan Campbell in the studio. Of course, he was the original sports caster. Actually, it was
Not
Goss
quite.
first,
Yes,
then
he did.
Ryan
Yeah,
Campbell.
that's right.
Yep.
And
And then
you,
Cambo handballed it to me, and I haven't left. And while I haven't left, Cambo's been around the world coaching cricket teams and living an unbelievable life. Good morning, Cambo.
Hey, thanks for having me back, guys. It's weird being here. Deja vu.
Yeah.
It is,
Cambo,
isn't it?
let's talk about how much you love the early morning starts.
That's one thing I don't miss. But now I've got two kids. I'm up that early anyway. So
That's irony,
And
isn't
you
it?
guys are like number one now. What's in the world's going on?
Mate,
mean-
took 20 years.
Yep. And that's with Shaun, so imagine.
Your career, as we've always just been following what you're doing and just been amazed. Because you left for IPL, didn't you?
No, IPA.
Yeah, it was the ICL, I think.
ICL.
Dodgy little Indian
Yeah.
places.
Yeah, so it was like the waffle of the
pretty
in
much.
cricket, essentially, wasn't it?
It was all about the cash,
Yeah.
let's be honest.
I remember you coming to me and saying, have you ever heard of a place called Ahmedabad? I'm like, no one has.
Either have I. But I found out it's the only province in India that you're not allowed to drink.
That was a
Oh, wow, you
stitch-up,
found out.
wasn't
That's
That was such a stitch up. Horrible.
So you left
then
for
you went-
that, yeah, and then then what happened?
Yeah,
after that?
so Hong Kong. Went there for
Hong
5
Kong.
years, coaching up there, and then got drafted into the Dutch. And so I've been living in Europe for the last 5.5 years. I've got a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old who speak fluent Dutch, which freaks me out.
Yes.
Because
Oh my God.
Because they can talk about you
Yes.
behind your back.
Yes, they
Yeah,
can.
that's hard.
And they've just discovered that they can do
Yeah,
that.
right.
Hey,
So that, yeah.
When they speak English, what's their actual accent?
Their accent is actually English.
Is Pommy.
Her mum has got a very nice English accent.
Yeah.
And they picked it up. And despite all my efforts to be
Yes.
as ochre as possible around
I know,
them.
because you haven't lost your accent at all.
Not at all. Not at all. So, and they've even tell me that their Dutch accent is the posh Harlem accent. Which
right.
is
So they're
what everyone
fancy
wants.
Dutch.
Yeah, they are fancy, apparently.
Wow. That's
That's-
amazing.
So Cambo, as the guys are saying, so you went to Hong Kong, you were coaching cricket there, you were really successful at it. So how did the Dutch thing come about and then open up to Europe and all the cricket that's been going on over there and developing?
Yeah, obviously the Hong Kong had played the Netherlands quite a bit, and so they knew how well Hong Kong were going, and the Dutch were desperately in needing of a new coach. And they felt they wanted someone who could take them to the next level. They we won and got into the Super League, so we've been playing all the big boys in world cricket. Luckily, they said that was me to take them forward. I don't know why, they're bloody stupid. But,
Well, hang on,
it's
you
been
got them
great.
into the Super 12 in this.
You did?
Yeah, mate, we've been going pretty well, and look, like anything, I hope that I'm stepping down obviously at the end of this World Cup, but if you start something, you got to leave it in a better spot than when you start.
Yes.
And you've absolutely done that.
I think that
Yeah.
so I'm very proud of what we've achieved, and I walk away with head held high.
Yeah, well
Hey,
done.
I want to talk about is Harlem that you live in.
Yeah,
Is that
Harlem,
right. Tell us about Harlem and what it's like.
It's a beautiful, old, ancient European town. It's got a massive, what they call the Grotemarkt, which is a beautiful old church,
Yeah.
which is the centre of the whole town.
Oh, wow.
And everything
Yeah.
literally works around it. And it's, it's just a beautiful place, a great place to bring up kids. And we've
Tell them about
loved
your
every
kids'
minute.
school.
So it's up the road. They walk to school every morning, and literally they know every kid, every person that lives in Harlem seems to go to that school in our area. So it's a great place for them to. And they go playing, and I get a WhatsApp from some parent. Oh, mate, by the way, Jake's at my house. I'll send him
right.
home. I'll send him home when you want. It's like,
And
cool.
I mean, obviously, what we think of the Netherlands is just everybody eats cheese and rides bikes. Accurate?
Yeah, very much so.
With a
very
joint in their
much so.
mouth.
Yeah, yes. That too. I made the mistake in one of my first weeks there. I walked into a coffee shop wanting a coffee, and apparently it's not coffee.
Hilarious, Campbell, you poor naive little thing.
But yeah, it's a wonderful place.
How many cricket pitches do they have around the place? Because it's not a place that's normally noted for playing cricket. I know you're developing at the moment, but I would think you wouldn't have many ovals like that.
There's actually quite a lot of clubs with lots of history, but the only problem is we only have 7 turf wickets in the whole of the country.
Yeah, right.
And that's where it's tough because all these young kids have been brought up playing on a mat, basically, and it's so foreign when they get on turf facilities.
Yeah.
So, that's the tough thing. For instance, we played the West Indies, and Alfonso Joseph or whatever bowls 150 kilometres an hour. Some of our kids were playing on a mat facing about 12 kilometres an hour.
Yeah, right.
On the Saturday, and then they have to face that on the Tuesday.
And
Slightly
they're screaming and
terrifying.
ducking.
And as you saw with Buster Lady yesterday, some
Yes.
things happen.
So there's a great picture in the paper today of your all-rounder with a massive cut under his eye. So he got hit by a short delivery that just went straight up into the grill of his helmet.
Yeah, it's just, the facts are the Perth Arena
Stadium.
Yes.
Yep.
wicket is the fastest and bounciest in the
Yeah,
world. And
yeah.
mate, we're not used to that. And they had 4 blokes bowling over 140 kilometres an hour. And I'm trying to tell everyone, mate, it's the greatest place to bat. You'll have a great time. After the game, everyone's looking at me going, you're an idiot.
Now, I remember when you played and a shot. You were the first one to do the ramp shot, right?
The ramp
that
shot.
is now played all the time in T20. They bring that out all the time, especially in the BBL.
Yeah.
You were the first in the world to do it, right?
Well, I'd like to say that, but apparently Dilshan got paid $1 million on a Pepsi ad saying that he did it. It was like, Give us a break, mate. Give us 10% at least. But,
You worked
You don't need that
Why
though.
did- why did
You've got niche living money.
That's right. Why did you first play that? Like, why did you think this is going to be a good idea?
Okay, because Darren Berry was wicket keeping up at the stumps, and I knew that if someone bowled it full, I could get under it and ramp it and hit it straight into his face because he's an absolute knob. And I thought that was
What a great motivation.
Yeah, that was the motivation, and it kept working. I thought to myself, "Geez, I'm onto something here." And away I went.
Revolutionised the game. What a legacy. Amazing.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.